He turned anguish into art.
You said that we're living in a different world now, that the world has changed. How so?
You turn to the things that matter most. One of the things that happened was the enormous light shone on those things, just through the very sacrifices that were made on that day. You know, people forget. People are brave. People are brave.
Pray for the strength, Lord. Pray for the faith, Lord. Come on.
He revived his band and rededicated himself to his job.
I asked myself a lot of these questions. Do I still sing rock and roll music? And I found out, like, this is me. This is what I do.
Come on, rise up. Come on, rise up.
Tonight, Bruce Springsteen on work, hope, and keeping faith with his audience.
Come on, rise up. Come on, rise up.
From ABC News, this is Nightline. Now reporting, Ted Koppel.
Yeah, man, we've hit it all now.
Just about.
We have talked about it all.
Not all, certainly, but a good bit. We talked about the way the songs come together. With the E Street Band.
Your strength, your hope, your faith,
Springsteen, the durable, dynamic rock star,
your love.
and the quiet, thoughtful writer mulling over the events and the people who inspire his lyrics and music. Publicly, he doesn't talk much or often, but even Bruce Springsteen acknowledges the need to promote a new album. And his latest, The Rising, is his first studio album in 18 years with the E Street Band. Many of the songs, which touch on sacrifice and mourning, love and resurrection, have their roots in what happened on September 11th. And that's how we began our conversation, which will continue tonight on our companion broadcast Up Close, and tomorrow night also.
I don't have to ask you if you'll remember, because we all remember, but what were you doing on 9/11 when you first heard?
I was at breakfast. I was at the kitchen table having some breakfast. I was by myself, and someone came in and said, plane had hit the World Trade Center. And so I went into the living room and turned the television on, and right before the second plane hit. And then the rest of the day, you were just sitting there with whoever came over and whoever was there, and just watching, you know. And I think the difference was towards the end of the day, you know, there's a bridge that you can see the World Trade Center is from. We're actually only about 10 or 15 miles from downtown New York here. It's very close by water. And you cross this little bridge, and they always sat dead. They sat dead in the middle of it. And so towards the end of the day, we got in the car and drove over it, and they were gone, you know. And it made it somehow it was realer than the TV images, and it was just, you know, it was mainly just it was a day of just gathering of your neighbors and friends and people, you know, just wondering what was to come, you know.
When did you go from just sort of viewing it as a tragedy in the news to realizing that it could be the inspiration for really an important new stage in your own life?
Well, I thought that we got asked to do the telethon. There was a telethon on a week later, and so I tried to write. I wasn't even thinking about writing about it. It was impossible to think about writing about it. It just seemed wrong, you know. And I had a song, City of Ruins, that I performed that I'd had for about a year or so. But that seemed to fit the evening.
Come on, rise up.
And I just went about my way writing other things, you know. And what I found out was that, well, you're writing in a new world. You're simply writing in a new world. You're living in a new world. The world was very different. And what you were thinking and the way you were writing was contextualized by new experience and by the experiences that everyone had on that day. And so songs just emotionally came out, and if you, like I said, if you go through everything on the record, songs could be about a myriad of different things. You know, even the ones that appear to be most directly about that day could be about, you know, just a loss, just someone's dreading their mortality, you know, unsure future. But in the context of what I think where we lived, and then the songs began to fall in place and take that as part of their story too. So.
You talk about the rising. I was almost thinking that you had the resurrection in mind.
I'm a good. Well, I was a good Catholic boy when I was little, and so those images for me are always very close, and they explain a lot about life. And I knew what I was trying to describe. One of the most powerful images of the 11th, and that I'd read in the paper, was when some of the people coming down talked about the emergency workers who were ascending. And, you know, that image to me was just what an image I just felt left with after that particular day. The idea of those guys going up the stairs, ascending. But you could be ascending a smoky staircase. You could be in the afterlife, moving on.
You said a couple of minutes ago, Bruce, that we're living in a different world now, that the world has changed. How so?
You turn to the things that matter most, you know, and I think that we live in a very successful society. Successful society allows for many distractions. I don't know, you know, I'll just have to speak for myself, you know. The things that really mattered, or importance of family, of the value system that's at the heart of what America is supposed to be about, was one of the things that happened was enormous light shone on those things, just through the very sacrifices that were made on that day. You know, people forget. People are brave. People are brave. And it's invisible, and it goes on every single day. You know, and people are brave at home, you know, at work. And to me, the things that were sort of came forward on that day, I think, were the things that people like to think that the country is connected by, and in some fashion many people felt had disappeared. I need your kiss, but love and duty called you someplace high, somewhere up the stairs into fire. May your strength give us strength. May your faith give us faith. May your hope give us hope. May your love give us love. May your strength give us strength. May your faith give us faith. May your hope give us hope. May your love bring us love.
When we come back, inside a rehearsal with the E Street Band and Springsteen on keeping faith with his audience.